Today we're doing another ceramic coating experiment. This time we're putting CQuartz UK Edition product over half of my front windshield to see if that makes any difference. I'm skeptical because ceramic coating is like a glass coating. Putting glass on top of glass, what can that possibly achieve? But we'll hope to find out. So let's get out there and clean up that windshield. Well, here we are outside, and our first step is to get this windscreen really clean. So get that pressure washer out, get blasting. We want every grain of grit, every bug to be gone. Oh, no, still a bug. Some of these nuclear powered bugs just won't go away even with the pressure washer. So we'll scrape them off with the razor blade. Now we want to get every last thing off that windscreen. So let's get scraping. If nothing else, your windscreen will be the cleanest it ever has been since new. Gotta be some benefit to that, I guess. Slightly damp cloth, clean it all up. Now that's not clean enough, so our next step is to get the buffing machine out with some pretty strong fast cut plus 3M compound. That will get rid of any last residue and all. It won't really polish the glass. Glass polishing compound is even stronger than this, and you need a much harder pad. This is a fairly hard pad. Let's get going. Notice that cord flicked over the shoulder there so it doesn't rub against the car. Now I've got the buffing machine on the lower setting with very firm pressure to make sure that any residue from bugs or dirt is removed. Don't spare the compound, get it on there nice and thick. If you don't like compound in your eye, then it's a good idea to wear some safety glasses. Oh look, it's another stone chip. Seems I've discovered 3 stone chips. I'll have to do a video about fixing them. Of course you can use a smaller buffing machine, more controllable, but it will take a bit longer if your machine isn't super powerful. That's a 1200 watt machine and it really does pack a punch. If you don't trust yourself, then maybe you need a bit more masking tape around the edges. But one thing's for sure, you'll probably flick compound all over the car, so it'll need a wash afterwards. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, now for the main event, the CQuartz with the little applicator and the suede applicator cloth. Now we'll put a few drops on there, a bit of a dribble, and get that applied. The idea is to apply it in straight strokes there, but the trouble is this product is designed to dry quite quickly, so it's good for use in cold and damp conditions. But here where I am, it's hot and dry, and it's drying up very quickly, so I'm using a lot more product than you'd expect, and it's hard to get it to go on evenly. That's my own fault in a way. I could do it at night or something, but we'll work with what we've got. Okay, this is a couple of minutes later and it's dry, so let's polish it off with a nice clean microfiber cloth. Put it on, it does leave a lot of streaks, so it takes Takes a lot of rubbing to clear it off. Okay, now we're on to our second application. Although it's not strictly required, it certainly ensures that you don't miss a single little section. And also it doesn't seem to harm it at all, and many would say that it is actually beneficial and will make the coating last longer. You can see the streaking that's left behind by the straight application and why you need to rub it to clear it off. So let's get rubbing. You need to get rid of every last streak there. Until it's completely see-through. Okay, now finally we're putting our reload compound on. That's a hydrophobic coating, and it helps smooth out the ceramic coating even more and polish it up. But it also helps repel water, which is perfect for a windscreen. It does take quite a bit of polishing to smooth that out nicely. Okay, off with the tape and see if you can tell the difference. Okay, I think we've got a very, very distinct line between the two sides. Maybe some of the ceramic or reload compound went under the tape a little bit, but you can tell straight away that there's something going on one side compared to the other. Well, here we go. I went looking for rain and I did find it. You can see when it's not actively raining on the windscreen, there's still that very distinct line. And now you notice that the water is flying up one side and sitting still on the other. So straight away that ceramic plus hydrophobic coating is making a difference. And the more water that falls on there, the more the effect is noticeable. Okay, with the wiper you can see straight away one side is clear and the other side, even with a perfectly polished windscreen, is still showing watermarks straight off after a wipe. Now these wipers are, let's say, they're near the end of life, but they have no trouble clearing the side with the ceramic coating, whereas the other side is very, very, I wouldn't say unclear, but let's say not as clear. Now I hope that this coating will remain to be that good, and here's a shot from inside where you can see the difference is quite remarkable. Well, you can't say that does nothing. It certainly has an effect. Now, you could say, if you were skeptical like me, that the big difference is the hydrophobic coating, the reload coating that goes on after the ceramic. And if you were skeptical like me, you might be onto something. So, what does this mean? I'd like to do a review in maybe 3 months' time when the hydrophobic coating, the reload coating, has worn off a bit, so that we're just left with the power of the ceramic coating, and see if it's still as effective, or at least showing some useful properties. So this isn't over yet. Well, if you thought this video was useful, give it a like and maybe share it with your friends. You'd help my channel by giving that subscribe button or circle a click. Until next time.